Hello, hello. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, teacher.
Can't hear anything.
We can't hear our teacher, I think. And probably Katie can hear us. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we can't hear you, Katie. Maybe you need click on the button on the top setting and choose the default microphone or other option for microphone. Uh, no, no, we can't hear you. No, no. Sometimes relogging could help. I don't know. Or it could be physical with the wires problem.
Hi. Do you hear me? Good to hear you. Hi.
Hello, testing? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, yes, we can hear you, Katya.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sure why the microphone wasn't working at first. So I'm not sure if you heard the introduction because the microphone might not have been working. But this lesson is going to be about weddings. Okay, so we're going to talk about vocabulary that is involved with weddings. And we're going to watch some videos from TV, from sitcoms, to describe what's going on using that wedding vocabulary. And then near the end of class, we'll compare what weddings are like in the United States and what they're like in your home country. So how are they similar and how are they different? Okay. So again, sorry about the issues with the microphone. So let's see who all is in class. Anatoly, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, excellent. And then we also have Hamada. Hamada? Yes. How do you say your name?
I can't hear you clearly.
Okay. And how are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
See, we have one. Oh, and Hamada, where are you from?
I'm from Morocco.
Sorry, one more time.
I am from Morocco.
Okay, excellent. And Sue,
Hi,
hello. How are you?
I'm fine.
And Sue, where are you from?
I'm from Vietnam.
From Vietnam.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Right, so I'd like to welcome you all to class. I think this is the first class that I've had with a couple of you. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to show some pictures of weddings, and we're going to talk about the vocabulary. And just to start off, have you ever been to a wedding in the United States or in your home country? Oh, and we have one more person to class. Alexander, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, excellent. In this class, Alexander, we're talking about wedding vocabulary, and we're going to watch some movie clips or TV clips about the American wedding and to describe what's going on using our vocabulary. And then we're going to describe how weddings are different in your home country and in the United States. So, excuse me. So, first I want to show you guys a PowerPoint. Okay, so let me screen share. And before I start, have any of you gone to a wedding?
I was on my own wedding.
Oh, your own wedding? Okay, so Anatol, you went to your own wedding. Excellent. And have any of the others gone to a wedding? Alexander, have you ever been to a wedding before?
No, I don't like weddings and funerals.
Okay,
Never
so you don't like
attended.
weddings and funerals.
No, yes.
And why don't you like, I can understand why you don't like funerals, but why don't you like weddings?
I don't like that those fake show.
Uh-huh. So you
Everybody
think it's,
fake laughing, fake smiling. I don't like this,
mhm.
in my opinion.
Okay, so Alexander thinks that it's kind of, in English we can say showy. I'll write that in the chat box. It's kind of like very fake, and you're just trying to make things look very extravagant and very fancy. So Alexander thinks it's kind of showy. He doesn't like it. He thinks it's kind of fake. Hamada, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Hamada.
Hamada. Have you ever been to a wedding before?
Yes, I've been in a couple weddings in my country.
Okay.
It's a
And
small.
and Hamada, what was your favorite part of the wedding that you went to?
Oh, it's the dancing.
The dancing. So you like the
Yeah.
dance? Are you doing Gangnam style on the dance floor?
What?
Were you dancing Gangnam style? I don't know if you know that song. It was
No, we have different songs here in the weddings. No.
okay. So you have special songs in your country for weddings.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And we can talk about that in a little bit too. What some of the specific things are in your country for weddings. And Sue, have you ever been to a wedding before? Sue, can you hear me? See, testing, testing. We'll come back to Sue if a little bit later and see if she can hear. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys some vocabulary now that we talked about our experiences with weddings. I've been to 2 weddings, but I was very, very young at the first one, so I don't remember. But, oops. Okay, so here we have weddings, and in this slide we have some vocabulary for what happens before the wedding. So do you know what it's called when the boyfriend or the guy gets down on one knee and he gives his girlfriend a ring?
Proposal.
Proposal, right, exactly. Good job, Kamala. Okay, so this is a proposal, and do you know the verb? If a guy does this, he...
Propose.
Right, exactly. Very good, Kamala. He proposes.
Yes.
So he proposes. And what do you think is the best proposal? Do you think that it should be private, or do you think it should be in front of friends and family? What do you think?
It depends on the person.
Okay, it depends on the person.
Yes.
Exactly. Anatoly, what do you think? What do you think is the best proposal? Do you think that it should be private or in front of friends?
I think it should be private. It is my opinion.
Okay, and why do you think it should be private?
Because this deal is about only 2 people, and they need freedom to speak in easy way, freely, without any shame,
Okay,
etc.
excellent. Right. So Anatoly, like you said, you might want to get married. With a proposal, it's important that there's not any pressure, in your opinion, because if the guy proposes in front of all of your family and your friends, then there's a lot of pressure to say yes, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And have you? Oh, hi, Sue. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'll check in a little bit. So, for example, are there any people that propose in public places, like for example in restaurants or at football games?
Sorry, could you repeat question? Your
Yeah,
voice was breaking up a little for
right.
me.
1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Are there, in your country, do people ever propose in public places, like in restaurants or during important games or anything like that?
I think no, it is not common. I watched it on in movies, mostly in Hollywood movies, in American movies, and I think in Russia where I live, it is not common habit.
Right, that's probably best. And Alexander, do you see the same thing, that it's not very common in Russia to propose publicly?
Yes, it's absolutely, yeah, it's not common. But of course, there are cases, I think, uh, with public proposals, but
Right.
in many cases it's, I think, private. But maybe uh, with family, maybe.
Right,
But
exactly.
mostly, I think it's private.
Mhm. 1 second. Sue, could you mute your microphone? Because there's some noise coming from your end. So if you could mute your microphone and turn it off, and then when you speak, you can turn it back on. That might help us hear a little bit better. So thank you. Right, so like you said, Alexander, you think that it's mostly a private matter. Um, Thank you, Sue. Right. So that it should be a private matter. And Hamada, what do you notice? Do you think that it should be private or public? Do you have any opinions?
Actually, it's common here in my country, which is if there is a wedding, the whole world know about it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Right. So the weddings are very public. Like the whole world knows about it.
Yes.
Excellent. So in the United States, actually, sometimes I'm curious what you think about this. There are people who propose at very, very big football games or basketball games, and they're on TV when they propose. And what do you think about that? Do you think that's okay, or do you think that it's strange or not a good idea to propose at a big game like that?
Like I said before, it depends on the couple. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
they love to share their love with the people, there is no harm in that.
Okay, excellent. And then Anatoly, what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea to propose at a big event like a football game or a basketball game?
No, I think it is not a good idea. I can't understand it. I think it looks strange maybe
Mm-hmm.
for two people who decided to share their feelings in front of a big audience. And proposal usually, or maybe the boy could guess what could be answer, but he wasn't be sure, and in that case it would be always very embarrassment.
Right. So it could be a big embarrassment for him and the fiance, because if one of them, if the girl says no, then that's very embarrassing for him, and that's actually happened at these games, and people go boo, and they get. I would feel very bad as the person proposing or as the girl. So yeah, it's complicated. And in your country, who proposes? Does the man or the woman propose?
Only men.
Right.
I think maybe we can find exceptions, but maybe it could be very rare exception.
Right, exactly. That's kind of how it is in the United States too. Usually the men propose. I think it's like that pretty much everywhere. One second, guys. I'm going to grab my headphones so that there's not an echo. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so if you guys look at the next picture, what is this right here? Let me see. Oops, sorry. Can you guys still see? What is this right here?
Where?
The picture at the top right.
Ring?
Right, it's a ring. And what kind of a ring is it?
I don't know.
See, sometimes we can say that this is an because when two people propose and they agree, they are engaged. So the ring that the man uses is called an engagement ring. And do you know what this is usually made out of?
It is diamond ring.
Right, excellent, Hamada. It's a diamond ring. And what kind of rings do you use in your home country to propose? Do you use diamond rings or do you use a different kind of ring?
It's gold.
Okay, Hamada, so it's gold. Does it have any diamonds or is it just plain gold?
It depends on the couple, you know.
Okay. So it depends on the couple. And Anatoly or Alexander, what is it like in Russia? What is the engagement ring like?
I think the most common gold rings
Okay.
without pearls.
Okay. So it's just a gold ring without diamonds or without any jewels.
Yes.
Right. And I noticed that too in South America, for example, they just use a gold ring. They don't use diamonds. But in the United States, we use diamond rings almost always. Okay. And then down here with the feet, this is kind of a strange expression, but if someone gets cold feet, then they start to doubt whether they want to be married. So, for example, a couple can get engaged. And right, that's another good expression. To get engaged is when one person proposes, they say yes. So after they get engaged, one person might think, oh, I don't know if I want to get married. I don't know if I want to spend my life with this person. Then they get cold feet. Do you know anyone who's gotten cold feet before a wedding?
It may be to be afraid of refusing.
Right, exactly. It could be, so Anatoly, it might be that they're afraid that maybe at the wedding their partner will say no. Or maybe they are afraid of commitment. Alexander or Sue or Hamada, have you ever known anyone who has gotten cold feet before a wedding?
No, I don't know those persons.
Okay. And then Hamada, do you know anyone who's gotten cold feet?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And Sue, do you know anyone who has gotten cold feet at a wedding? See, can you hear me? See, we'll come back to Sue. Right, so usually this is in movies when someone gets cold feet and they decide, oh, maybe I don't want to get married. Okay, and then what does the couple have to send out before the wedding to tell people to go to the wedding?
The invitation.
Right, exactly, Kamada. They have to send out invitations. And what are invitations like in your country? Do people spend a lot of time making pretty invitations?
Actually, it's just personally. We tell people personally
Mm-hmm.
to come with them, you know.
So, Hamada, you say that in your country you invite people like in person?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So you
Yeah.
don't really have paper invitations.
No.
Oh, that's very interesting. In the United States, we almost always have paper invitations, and a lot of couples make them look very pretty. And Anatoly, what about in Russia? Do you spend a lot of time with invitations?
Invitations to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we use it. I think yes, it is also common in my country.
Mm-hmm.
But invitation for proposal, I maybe it is not suitable, not
Right.
acceptable, only for guests.
Right, exactly. Right. So for the wedding, we have the invitations, but we don't have an invitation for the proposal because that would be a little strange.
Yes.
But we do have them for weddings. So like in your country, we worry a lot about them. And then here at the wedding, we have some people, And then so do you know the name of the woman who's getting married, what we call her?
Fiance.
The fiance is, yeah, you could say fiance. If two people are engaged, they're fiancés. But at the wedding, she has a specific name. It starts with B.
Don't know.
How about the bride? Have you heard that before, the bride?
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
And then what is the name of the person she's marrying?
The husband.
Right, exactly. Very good, Sue. The groom, right? So, so the person that she's getting married to is the groom. And Sue, if you want to turn your microphone on when you talk, you can do that. But just to keep it muted when you're not talking, that way we don't hear background sounds. Okay, so excellent. So we have the bride and the groom. And then, do you know what the men are called? For example, in the picture here, the groom has his friends at the wedding, and they're kind of important.
Best man.
Right, exactly. So all of them together are the groomsmen, and then one of them is the best man. And the best man, what does he do, Anatoly?
Here is he witnesses on the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
He make a sign in the solemn ceremony.
Mm-hmm. So he makes a speech, right? Like he talks about the bride and the groom at the wedding, right? And he's like the groom's best friend. And then on the other side, what are all of the women called at the wedding? All of the bride's friends. Do you know the name for them?
I don't know.
No? Okay, these are called bridesmaids. Okay, so bridesmaids. And then the one woman who's the most important is oh, sorry, that's wrong, the maid of honor. The maid of honor. And she is the person who also gives the speech at the wedding. So we have one person on both sides, one woman and one man, who gives a speech at the wedding. So they talk about the bride and the groom. The man is the best man, and then the woman is the maid of honor. So in your country, do you have a maid of honor and a best man? Alexander?
Yes, but we call them witnesses.
Witnesses. Right, that
In
makes
both
sense.
cases, woman or man. Best man and bridesmaid. Oh, maid of honor, it's witnesses.
Okay, excellent. So in Russia, they're just called witnesses, which makes sense because they're witnessing the wedding. They're seeing the wedding. Hamada, do you have a best man and a best woman in your country? In your weddings?
Yes, actually, it's the same in my country.
Mm-hmm. So it's the
The
same.
best man is probably the best friend of the group.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Right. So that's how it is in the United States too. That the best man is the groom's best friend usually. And then Sue, what is it like in your country in Vietnam? Is there a maid of honor or a best man? Let's see, Sue, can you hear me? Let's see, we'll check back with Sue in about 5 minutes. Okay, so very good. So So far, are the traditions similar or different to your home country with weddings? Are they pretty similar? Let's see. And then, let's see, testing, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can hear you.
okay, sorry. All right, so then we have some vocabulary. We have the wedding ceremony, and then, and then do you know what comes after the ceremony? There's a party, but it has a special name.
Is it not a wedding party?
You can say wedding party. We can say that. Or we can say reception. And I'm just writing these in the chat box. You can say the wedding reception.
Mm.
And what do you do at the wedding reception?
Dancing. And maybe the first dance would be for groom and bride.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So you have the first dance, and it's between the bride and the groom, and there's lots of dancing going on. Right, like Hamada, you said that dancing was your favorite part of the reception, correct? What else do you do at the reception? You dance, and there's also one big thing that you usually do.
We make many jokes. Maybe it could be jokes about buying bride.
Oh, really? So you make jokes about buying the bride?
Yes.
That's very interesting. We don't do that in the United States. I know that, right, so like you said, Anatoly, a lot of people make jokes and they talk. And what about eating? Do you eat at a reception?
Yes, it is a part of ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And during the dinner, we make wishes. We make a speech with the wishes to the young couple.
Okay, excellent. Right, so those are some things that they do. And then Alexander, you said that there are some contests. What kind of contests are there at the wedding, the wedding reception?
There's a special man or maybe woman who it's like I don't know, I would say on TV in TV program there is a person who rule the show and those in the there is a person on weddings that I don't know how to say who really don't know. I don't know how to say it.
Maybe Anatoly could help you out a little bit. Are you saying that someone like is kind of in charge of the wedding? They're like the person who's responsible for the games and the contests?
Yes, we call it tamada. I think it is from Georgia, this word, tamada. Georgia, which is located, a country which is located near Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking to the dictionary, toaster, I think. A toaster master.
Oh, the Toastmaster.
Toastmaster, yes.
Right, excellent. So that's the person who is in charge of the games and speaking, is the Toastmaster. Right, exactly. Very good, Anatoly. So in Russia, there's a Toastmaster who does all of the games. And then Right, so very good. And then what do you drink at the reception, Hamada? Do you know what is it one popular beverage?
About the drinks,
Hmm.
we don't drink alcohol.
Okay, so right, in
We
some
drink,
countries they don't.
yes, because of the religion, you know.
Hmm. Right,
Yes,
that makes sense.
we drink just cola and tea. The Moroccan tea, it's famous, you know.
Okay, so so Hamada, you guys drink a special type of cola. What do you drink in Russia, Anatoly or Alexander?
We drink champagne. I think it is a one obligation, like obligation drinks, and other drinks could be uh, different. It could be vodka, it could be cognac, or whiskey,
Mm-hmm. Right, so those are all popular choices.
or wine.
Right, or wine. And like you said, champagne is the most common, right? Like everyone drinks champagne after a toast. And just a couple more pictures too to talk about weddings. Do you know what it's called when you have the flowers? What the name of that is?
Bouquet. Bouquet.
Right, exactly, the bouquet. And in the United States, there's a tradition where the bride throws the bouquet over her head, and any of the girls at the wedding can catch it. So she throws this bouquet over her head, and the women behind her all try to catch it because they say that if you catch the bouquet, it means that you're going to get married. Do you have a similar tradition in your countries?
It is a modern tradition. Yes, it is also became a common last years, I think, but maybe not always. But I think it is often used.
Right, so it's often used. Hamada, is it used a lot in your country as well, where the bride will throw the bouquet over her head, and if you catch it, you get married?
No, we have different ways. If the bride pinch a girl, that means
Uh-huh.
the girl is gonna marry. She's the next bride, you know.
Oh, okay, very good. So in your country, if the bride pinches
Yes.
one of the girls, they get married. It's very interesting, right? So sometimes it differs from country to country. So we have our different traditions, right? So like we said in Russia, usually they do the bouquet toss, but in your country, Kamado, we do they pinch. And then Sue, can you hear me? If you can, is there anything special that they do in weddings in your country, in Vietnam? For example, does the bride throw a bouquet and whoever catches it can get married? Let's see.
Katie, could you please repeat what does it mean, pinch?
Oh, pinch. Pinch is, let me turn on my video because that might be a little bit easier. If you pinch someone, it's like you take your two fingers and you go like this.
Ah, yes, okay, understand.
So a
And
lot of
why you mentioned this?
right. So Hamada explained that in his country they don't do the bouquet toss. What they do instead is what did you say, Hamada? Can you explain it again?
Yes, if the bride pinches a girl, that means she's gonna marry next to her.
Ah,
Right.
okay. Thank you.
Right.
That's interesting.
Right. So it's a different tradition, right? So in that country, if the bride pinches a girl, that means that she's the next person to get married.
Interesting.
Right. So it's a different tradition. And then just a couple more pictures too. In the United States, I don't see this much anymore, but before people would tie cans to their car after they got married. Oh, whoops, sorry, I said this. Let me see if you guys can see the PowerPoint. Oh, there we go. They in the picture on the bottom, they would tie cans to their car, and then that way when they drive off, it makes a lot of noise. So everyone knows that they just got married. Are there any traditions like that in your country?
Yes, cars produce loud sounds during the riding.
Okay, so the cars make a lot of sound as well in Russia to show everyone that they just got married. Alexander, is there anything else that you do in Russia just after you get married?
I don't know exactly. I think that as Anatoly said, it's every car that follow the car with bride and groom. Everybody pushing I would say the signal of car, like beep beep. I don't know how to say.
Oh, right. So they
Or
right. What is it?
horn or maybe
Right, exactly. So you can say they honk their horn.
honk,
Um,
honk their horn.
mhm. So everyone honks their horn to show that they've gotten married. Excellent. And then what do the bride and the groom go on after they get married? Sometimes they take a vacation. Do you know what this is called?
Honeymoon.
Right, exactly, the honeymoon. And
Yes, it's also common in Russia, but if a couple can afford it, of course.
right, exactly, because sometimes it can be very expensive.
Yes.
And one more thing that I forgot to mention too, sometimes the clothing is really important in a wedding. So, for example, do you know what the dress is called, the bride's dress?
Wedding dress, we call it. Um, Fata, it is maybe similar. It is how we can say, on the head of the bride. She wears fata, like cap, but not exactly. Veil.
Okay, a
Veil.
veil. Right, exactly. So at a wedding, the bride wears a wedding gown, which is the dress, and she also wears a veil. So this goes over her head, and then the groom will lift up the veil. Okay, and then what does the groom wear? He wears a suit, and it has a special name. How about a tuxedo? Have you heard this word before?
Yes, yes, I heard.
Okay.
I think it is not common for my country. Maybe sometimes grooms.
And so oh, go ahead. Sorry, Anatoly.
I finished. I
Okay.
said that it is not so common clothes for grooms, I think, in Russia. But it is sometimes they use it.
Okay. What did the grooms usually wear in Russia if they don't wear a tuxedo?
Mm, I think black suit.
A black suit?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So that's a little bit different because
Not always. Sometimes not black. Just maybe the most common. Not many colors in the clothes of the men. Usually white shirt. Yes, and white up and black down, like this.
right.
Not
So they have
shorts.
a white shirt. Oh, shirt. Sorry, a white shirt and black pants.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. And right. So that's usually what the grooms wear. And Hamada, how do the bride and groom dress in weddings in your country?
The groom wears the traditional jalaba. If you know,
Okay.
if you know this name, the jalaba. It's a traditional wear in my country, in Morocco.
Right. I'm not. I don't think I am familiar with it, but I'll try to look up a picture and see if I can find one. Jalaba. Oh, okay. I see. And then so does the bride or the groom wear the jalaba? Okay. Right. So this is a special type of clothing that the bride and the groom wear in Morocco, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can find a picture. Okay. So I'll look up a picture of that. And Sue, I don't know if you can hear me. Is there any type of special clothes that the bride and the groom wear in Vietnam for weddings? No. Okay. And then before we're going to watch a little video of a wedding from Friends, but first I want to talk about some superstitions or traditions because I'm curious if you have these in your home country about weddings. So for example, in the United States, it's bad luck for the groom to see the bride before her wedding. Is it bad luck in your country as well?
No, I think sitting on the corner uh, of the table, it is a bad sign and superstition, especially for a girl who don't make it. It means that they would be stay not married all time. And the second superstition from this, as there are no place for living for people who are sitting on the corner.
Oh, really? That's interesting. So if anyone is sitting at the corner of a table, and the corner is, for anyone, is just the part that makes an
Yes,
angle.
yes.
Right. If anyone's sitting at the
Angle.
corner, it means that that the couple is not going to stay together. So it's bad luck. That's interesting. Alexander, can you think of any other things that are bad luck in Russia with weddings or any other traditions?
No, I don't. I don't think I know. No, I don't know.
Okay. And then Hamada, is there anything that's bad luck in your country with weddings? Let's see. Hamada, can you hear me?
Now I can. Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that's bad luck in your country with weddings? See, Hamada, we can come back to you with that in a little bit. Right. So, like we said, in America, it's bad luck to see the for the groom to see the bride, and then we also have a superstition where we want to use something borrowed, something blue, something old, and something new in the wedding. So the bride wants to borrow something to wear. She wants to wear something blue, whether it's like a ring or something small, something old, and something new. And that's very interesting in Russia about the corners. I never knew that. Okay. Let me. Actually, let me put up the YouTube video really fast. Do you all have the YouTube application?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So we're just going to watch. Let's see, a video from. Let's see. From Friends. Are you familiar with Friends? With the sitcom?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to watch and see and describe what's going on in the wedding with our vocabulary words. Okay, so first of all, where are they? Where does it look like they're at?
At the church.
Right, at the church. Okay. And then who are these two people? The woman who's getting married is the
Bride.
Right, the bride and the
Groom.
The groom, right. Okay. All right, so we'll stop about right there. But what happened in the video? Let's see. Because they were getting married, and do you know what that's called when the bride or the groom says, "I take thee to be my lawfully wedded wife"? Do you know what that is called? Oh, Hamada, it wasn't working for you. Oh, let's see. Alexander, could you see the video?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Hamada, could you see the video, or it didn't work for you? Anatoly, could you see the video?
Yes, I could.
Okay. All right, because Hamada said he had some problems with it. And then Sue, if you're still there, could you see the video? You can write to me or put your microphone on. We'll just explain it, Hamada, then, because I'm not sure why it's not working for you. I'll try to figure it out later why it wouldn't be working. But what happened at the wedding? They were talking to each other, and do you know what that's called when they say, "I take thee to be my lawfully wedded wife"? They're saying
They give each other vows.
Right, exactly, very good. They're giving each other, they're saying their vows. And what happened? The groom did what?
He said the wrong name.
Right, he said the wrong name. And so what do you think he had? What was the expression we learned that if someone is kind of nervous to get married, they have what? Cold.
I don't know.
Cold feet.
Right, exactly. Very good, Anatoly. So do you guys think that Ross, the groom, had cold feet?
Yes, probably.
Right, probably. And how do you think the bride feels?
She'll kill him later.
Maybe she'll kill him later. Right, exactly. Um, right, because that's not a small thing to say the wrong name of the bride, right? And have you ever been at a wedding where a mistake happened? Probably not saying the wrong name, but have you ever seen a mistake at a wedding?
Maybe I don't remember exactly case.
Okay.
It could happen because every couple usually nervous because it is very important event, and it could happen.
Mm-hmm. Right. So maybe they might say the wrong word or something because they're very nervous. Exactly. And then just one discussion point before we leave. I'm curious about this because in the United States, the average cost of a wedding is $30,000. So how important do you think it is to have a big, expensive wedding? What do you think is the most important? Do you think it's important to spend a lot of money on a wedding? Alexander?
Um, I think it's I would spend it, but only only for bride.
Mm-hmm. So,
Because for me it's absolutely doesn't matter. But I think for most girls it's very important. So I would do it.
exactly, right. So a lot of times the bride wants the big wedding, it's all fancy. So Alexander, you said you would do that for your bride. And what do you think, Anatoly? Do you think that you need like a big fancy wedding, or do you think you should spend that money on something else? Hi, Shady, welcome. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Personally, for me, I agreed with Alexander's opinion, but when I'm thinking about how important this event for our parents, for our friends, etc., relatives, I think we need to spend enough money for organizing it.
Okay.
Personally, for me, it doesn't matter, but thinking about our relatives, I think it is all important.
Right. So, like Alexander said, sometimes it's for the bride, but like you said, Anatoly, sometimes it's you spend a lot of money for the family because you want to give your family a fun experience, and have it be special. And then Shady, I see. Welcome to class. We're almost wrapping up, but we're just talking about weddings right now, and some of the differences between countries. Okay. So in this class we learned about some of the differences in cultures between weddings. Sue, if you can hear me, you can write in chat and just say you can hear. I'm not sure if you're there still, but what were some of the differences that we saw in weddings? I think we had more similarities. We could start there. What were some of the things that we had in common with weddings, for example, in Russia and the United States?
The main idea to be married and to make it remarkable, this event, it is very similar. And what difference? Uh, I don't know.
You don't know. Alexander, what was the one difference of bad luck? If you sit at...
Sorry, could you please repeat the question? I'm a little bit distracted when you asked.
Oh, right. So what was the one thing that's bad luck in Russia at a wedding? If you sit at the...
What bad to do during the wedding?
Right. I think Anatoly mentioned it earlier.
Don't have actually any experience, but I think the wrong name includes. I don't know what it is. What else?
Okay. Right. So Alexander, it would be very bad luck to say the wrong name when you're giving your vows.
It's nightmare. It's nightmare, I think.
Right. So like we saw, Ross was probably having a nightmare for saying the wrong name at his wedding. But Anatoly, what was the one thing you mentioned that it's bad luck to sit at a...
In the angle in the corner, but it is not maybe so total bad luck. It is just only for superstition people, or it could be reason for some jokes about future of girls, etc. It is not so serious.
Okay, so it's not necessarily bad luck. People just will make fun of someone if they sit at the corner. Okay, and what are some things that you guys learned in this lesson? Did you learn any new vocabulary, or maybe some traditions that you didn't know existed?
Yes, for me, I make some notes about this class. I collect vocabulary. You can see on my screen. This is today's class from beginnings, and some vocabulary here, some pictures. It describes and Morocco's traditional wedding dress, and this is we.
The video, excellent. You're a very organized student, Anatoly. And like you said, you showed the picture of the traditional clothing that they wear in Morocco for the weddings. And then, Alexander, did you learn any new vocabulary or new traditions?
Yes, new traditions. It's all it's interesting. All the time I attend the classes, but about vocabulary, I don't think so, because I use mostly online classes to use my passive vocabulary base, because I know very many words, but when I start talking, it's a problem to remember to use them. So
right.
Speaking classes help me to brush it up in my memory.
Right, very good. That's a good verb, to brush up. Right, so like you said, like in speaking classes like this can kind of help you remember your passive vocabulary. Because, for example, if you see these words, you might already know them, but you're not used to using them in conversation because we don't talk about weddings every day. But very good. So you said you knew most of the vocabulary beforehand. Okay, so we're almost out of time, guys, but I'd like to thank you for coming to class. Do you have any last-minute questions or comments?
Thank you. See you soon.
See you soon. And before you guys leave too, if you could leave feedback on my profile page, I would appreciate that a lot. There's just at the bottom of the page somewhere where you can write like, I like this class, or I think that this could be improved. So if you leave me feedback, that would be great. And you can also check out my other classes. I have a class at 1 o'clock today about the conditional tense and what would you do in difficult situations. All right, so thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Let's see. Shady, can you hear me? Let's see. Shady and Sue, I don't know if you can hear me, but class is going to be over because we're out of time. But thank you for listening and participating. Hopefully you could hear still. I know Sue, you came in at the beginning, but you might have lost contact. But thank you for listening. All right, and I'll see you guys soon, hopefully in another class. All right. All right, so take care.